The big boss release for Rise of Floodborn is almost here, and if you want to take part in any events, it's time to brush up on your rulings. Hi everyone, this is D7 from Mushu Report, and the Rise of Floodborn big box release is almost here, which means a lot more people are hopefully getting their hands on Rise of Floodborn products. I'm hopefully getting mine in a couple of days as well, and I'm definitely going to be doing some box openings, so look forward to that. That said, if you're going to be taking part in events, you want to know your cards really well and how they interact with each other, which means you need to brush up on your rulings. And what better place to check out on rulings than the Mushu Report Wiki, which I have already all the rulings that we know of so far, that all can be verified with their various sources, all listed up on the Mushu Report Wiki. So here are the top 10 rulings that you need to know about for Rise of Floodborn. Starting off with the brand new keyword that we got from Rise of Floodborn, resist. So resist is a +1, +2, or +n kind of ability where it stacks. So what do I mean by that is if there's two characters giving +1 resist to me, for example a character, then yeah, I'll be able to have +2 resist. So that's how it works, it actually stacks. But how does it work in terms of damage? Like for example, we have Beast Relentless. So Beast Relentless get to ready itself when an opposing character takes damage. But in the scenario of the opposing character having say resist +2 and you fire the cannons on that character, then while the character is not taking any damage because of resist +2, then your Beast Relentless does not get to be raided because it didn't take any damage. Another thing to note is that resist is not a replacement effect. So let's use the example of Beast Selfless Protector. So Beast Selfless Protector in this case, he has the ability to take over damage counters from the other characters. If the other characters of yours are going to get damage, then the damage counters go to Beast Selfless Protector instead. But if Beast Selfless Protector has any resist, it doesn't matter at all because let's just say the other character you had is supposed to get hit by smash and they'll take 3 damage, then regardless of how much resist that you have on Beast Selfless Protector, it will still take 3 damage counter. So that's one thing you need to note for resist. It doesn't replace the damage, it just reduces it. With that in mind, there's a lot of rulings that you need to note for Beast Selfless Protector that I think is a really interesting read and you really need to check out. For example, what happens if you have 5 characters on the board, including one of them being Beast Selfless Protector, but your opponent plays Grab Your Swords. Then well, in this case, for this ruling, you are going to have 10 damage applied to all the 5 characters they have, but all 10 damage goes to Beast Selfless Protector and it gets banished after it takes 10 damage. The remainder 2 damage overflow doesn't go anywhere else because all 10 damage is being treated as being applied to Beast Selfless Protector. So that's another ruling that you definitely want to go and check out. Then, moving on, we have Beast Relentless. So Beast Relentless is a really simple ability actually, but I think this one needs to be pointed out because there's a lot of people trying out this card. Beast Relentless can ready itself regardless of whose ever turn it is. So let's just say it's your turn, Beast Relentless is actually in exerted mode and your opponent has 2 characters trying to crash both of them into Beast Relentless. Well, that doesn't really work if you know how to play Beast Relentless because your opponent will crash the first character into it. Beast Relentless takes damage of course, but the opposing character that crashed into it took damage from Beast Relentless as well. And then, well, in that case, you get to ready Beast Relentless and it goes into ready state, and that means that your opponent can't challenge it with the second character anymore. So that's a really interesting interaction that you definitely need to take note of if you're playing Beast Relentless. Moving on. Enough the beast, we go into Prince John. So Prince John, this is one that you definitely need to know about if you haven't heard about it yet because it's a very important card that's being played among all the new Emerald discard decks. So for Prince John, your opponent gets to draw any amount of cards that you discarded via the ability. Let's just say if it's by a whole new world. So if during a whole new world is being played by your opponent and you had 3 cards in hand originally and then your opponent discarded 3 cards that you had in your whole new world and you drew 7 cards after that, well, your opponent will actually draw 10 cards because they'll draw 7 cards from a whole new world. Then after that, they'll draw the 3 cards that you discarded via a whole new world via that Prince John's ability. So that's something really important to take note of for Prince John that you will need to check out because yeah, there's a lot of people playing this card. And next, The other ruling we need to note of is for Grandpa B as well as Rapunzel Gifted Artist. So both of these cards actually have the ability to let you trigger it multiple times if you're healing multiple characters at the same time. So how does it work out? Well, let's just say you have Gumbo Pot, where Gumbo Pot is actually healing up 2 of your characters. Then in that case, because 2 different characters got healed, Grandpa B will get a trigger of twice and you'll gain 4 lore. And of course, in the case of Rapunzel Gifted Artist, then you draw 2 cards instead. So that's another ruling that you want to take note of. I think there's lesser people playing this Grandpa B one because it's proving to be a little bit slow, but there's definitely people going to be trying out this strategy. So yeah, make sure you know this ruling. Then next, 4,000 eggs as well as abilities like Li Shang Archery Instructor, which actually apply to all the characters on the board. So how does it get applied? Do you get applied to characters that are played after you played 4,000 eggs, or do they apply to characters that were there before 4,000 eggs? Well, this might seem a bit like standard ruling for anyone who's played TCGs regularly, but this is one for the folks who are a bit newer to TCGs. So 4,000 eggs will only be applied to all the characters that are on the board at the time that 4,000 eggs is played. So if you play a new character after you have played the 4,000 eggs earlier on, that character will not be getting the resist from 4,000 eggs. This will be similar to all the abilities that actually have something like 4,000 eggs or Li Shang that actually give abilities or apply to all the characters that's currently on the board. Then yeah, you need to take note that they only apply to all the characters that are currently on the board and they do not apply to the ones coming later on. Next one is Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. So Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo has the ability to return a character to hand, and you can play a similar cost or lesser character. So what happens if you are, say, returning a Cusco to hand, and can you play back another Cusco? How do you know if it's the same Cusco? Maybe it's a different one, or maybe, you had just one copy. Your opponent is not supposed to know. And that's precisely how it will be ruled. So Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, when the cards get returned to hand, your hand cards are all private knowledge and your opponent is not supposed to know what card is in your hand. So in that sense, when it goes back to hand, it's treated as another card and you can actually play out that very same card that was returned to hand. So even if you have no cards in the hand at all, and you play Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo to return a Costco to hand, and it's the only card in your hand, it doesn't really matter because Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo will allow you to play that same Costco right back onto the board, and you actually have it all ready and healed up and ready to just quest in the following turn because, well, it was just played this turn right after Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. And last but not least, we have the Queen Disguise Peddler. Then this is an interesting one because I didn't think this card needed rulings, but turned out that there's people who are getting the rulings wrong for this card. So the Queen Disguise Peddler's ability, it lets you discard a card from your hand and actually deal damage to your opponent equal to the lore that's written on the card. It only discards from your own hand, the owner of the Queen Disguise Peddler, not the opponent. You do not get to use your queen to discard a card from the opponent's hand because, yeah, it doesn't state the opponent's hand on the card. It only states discard a card. So that's only your card. And another thing to take note is that if you're discarding a card that, let's say it's Flynn Rider, his own biggest fan, then, well, his ability actually states that you would reduce his lore count by the number of cards in the opponent's hand, but that is only when Flynn Rider is in play. So in this case, when you're discarding Flynn Rider from hand via the Queen's ability, then, well, the Queen will actually be gaining you 4 lore right away, ignoring the written ability of Flynn Rider. So that's the most important ruling that I think for the Queen's Disguise Peddler, which, yeah, you should definitely take note. And that's it. So that's a pretty quick run through for the various 10 cards that I think that everyone should definitely take note of for Rise of Floodborn. But as you can see earlier on the wiki, there's already a lot of pages, a lot of cards have specific rulings and interactions with them. So if you're looking for a card and want to check out its rulings, then, well, head over to the Mushu Report wiki. All the rulings that we have are over there and they are all sourced. You can actually check out where the ruling comes from, whether it's from Discord, from one of the Lorcana stuff, or maybe it's from Twitter, or maybe it's from Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. I put them all together onto the wiki for everyone's easy access. And I hope that everyone gets to use it. So that's the idea of this video. I hope that you all enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm hoping to get my Rise of Floodborn product soon. So see you in the next one, and hopefully it's a box opening video. Thank you everyone for watching. This is D Simon from Mushu Report, signing out.